Hello, everybody. I
Hi.
am Sun Psychic Jean, and please welcome Annie Bear. Hi, Annie Bear. How are you?
Hi. Hello, Jean. You look beautiful today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so do you. I love your little background and all of your artwork and all
Oh,
of your
thank you.
eclectic lights, and it's so beautiful. It's very whimsical in your background. I love it.
I,
Hmm.
I will tell people you might see birds just over my shoulder. I just filled the suet feeder and man, they are hitting it hard this winter. So you may see birds up right behind me.
I've noticed them before, and I think it's just a beautiful. It's a confirmation of your energy and of your generosity for sure. I love that. Mhm. That
Thanks.
they feel safe to come close and they're watching over you and,
Yeah, they're
so you
nosy.
were you
Actually,
told me
they're
a
pretty
little bit
darn
about
nosy.
you were, telling me a little bit about the return of the bird tribes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, we were talking before the show about the return of the bird tribes. And let me find, I lost my place there. I was looking into our cosmology because Native American cosmology is all about interconnectedness. And we know that we are moving from the fourth world into the fifth world. So we look for signs that our ancestors shared with us, like the railroads, like the telecommunications. All of the signs have happened except for one. So we pay attention to events and things that are happening so that we can be in the flow and respond rather than react and stay very, very grounded. And it's very important to stay in tune with the season you are in. For
Mm,
instance, this in the wintertime is a time for fires and songs and stories. It's a time of remembering, it's a time of honoring tradition by going within, by doing journeying. And when the frogs sing, we can bring in the fall, we can bring our drums out and share that medicine and share those healing stories. And a lot of European communication is right in your face, and a lot of indigenous peoples the world over, the communication is more to the side of you, where
mm,
a point might be shared in a story. It might be
mhm.
shared in that sort of a way. So it isn't quite so abrupt. Um, there's the eagle and condor prophecy, a central belief that the indigenous peoples of the North, which is the eagle, and the South America, which is condor, will reunite to heal the earth, restoring balance and protecting natural resources, and marking a new era after cycles of imbalance. And we've certainly seen that. So it's a time of putting your energy where you want it to go and realizing that we all have guides and angels and ancestors, and our ancestors are always with us. I was sharing with Jean, my mother passed away a month ago. And so now I am the oldest in the family. And my siblings are 10 years or more younger than me. And so it's been quite a shift to suddenly be the matriarch. And I'm having some photos printed out and sending them to them in the mail. And that felt really good to do, to be the one who I remember you when you were a little kid. Or I remember when this one and that one and this one was born. And it's really something, it's a different energy to carry. There's a quiet strength and a humbleness and a very much being in the moment and um, appreciating the preciousness. I think right now, I was speaking on my channel recently, I think it was a couple days ago. I was talking about as we're going through this change and this time of great change on earth, I am feeling that the relationships in my life are much, I just treasure them.
Mm.
The connections, our community. I treasure this community and the connections that we make here. And there's a woodpecker out there
Oh
eating.
my
But
goodness.
but yeah, but um we have more in common than we have not in common. We have so much more in common in that someone else had said it, that we were all just walking each other home. And I think that's so true. It's so important that we're bring all our authentic weirdness, and be authentically ourselves with as much humor and grace as we can muster. There are stories from the indigenous people all over the world. And
I love that, Anniebear, and I
yeah,
love the depth of knowledge and experience and lived practice that you've had, the ups and downs, the good times, the bad times, the sorrows, the joys. And with it all, you have carried spirit alongside of you because of the teachings and the traditions that you have been taught and shared and experience. I love that when you say that during this time, it's important for us to um, retreat a little bit and do our journeying and about meditation and about uh, feeling within ourselves who we truly are and who we want to show the world who we are and to create that new part of ourselves. Each morning when we wake up, it's a newness. Each season that we wake up, it's a newness. Each year, it's a newness. But it's not new, it's an evolution, it's a growth. And I love
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that part of the indigenous traditions
I
that
do
allow
too.
us to walk beside. Mhm.
I was sharing with Jean. I agree completely. It is really important. One of the things I wanted to share today to inspire others is I showed this with Jean just a minute ago. This
Oh,
was
let
a
me do this.
shield that this was a
Mhm.
shield that I made in my 20s. And I had remembered this shield from a walk I had on the plains. And in the walk that I had on the plains, I was a medicine woman. I was helpful to others. I lived in a hill. And when I was available for visiting, I would put this shield outside my door. And it wasn't really a door, it was like a hole with something over it. And I would put this out and it would let people know. Now, what's
So
important about that is that just when I'm sorry,
I
what were you
was
going to
just
say?
going to say about the symbology on there. Is the
Mhm.
center the sun, and the four lines is that the bear, and then the
Yeah.
eagle, and what do the dots represent?
Um, when I made this is the center that we all come from. This is mother. These are
Ah,
this is around the medicine wheel and all the points of enlightenment
oh,
that we can remember. This is the bird tribes.
okay.
So, and this is bear. And the reason I share that is because some of you, all traditions the world over, Native American, yes, other indigenous peoples all over the world. But here's what I think is really fascinating is that like Vikings in Norway are the indigenous people. And I have spoken with some of them, and our traditions are almost identical. I've spoken with Hawaiian
Mm,
women and Celtic women and Irish, and our ceremonies and the things that we honor and do are almost identical. And they even happen around the same times of year in the same seasons. So if you are remembering a walk of yours that you had, make something to honor it. You are showing Creator and your ancestors, I remember, I remember, I am walking it forward. I am carrying this energy. You are with me. I am never alone. And it really is helpful to show spirit that you are available. And it honors your ancestors, which is always helpful, because they're with us, because they remember how hard it is to human, you know. So,
well, I love this about you, Annie, because you don't know this about me, but
mhm,
when I did my shamanic energy training or my shamanic training, I too was asked to go on a journey. I too was asked to go
mhm,
out into nature and find natural you know, representation of my journey, of my dreams, of my experience. I
Mhm.
too was taught to get a hide, a natural piece of cloth or hide to paint on, as well as attach and sew on these artifacts. And the creation of manifesting our experience, and you've had that with you. I have mine too. It is a
Oh,
part of you. It is your experience. It manifested. It's your creating that experience. They not only want us to keep it here, they want us to create it through us. And it doesn't matter if you can draw. It doesn't matter if you have. It just matters about putting it into the physical and creating from our soul what we were taught, what we were shown, what our experience was. And this way it lives forever throughout all of our years. And
yeah,
you've had that shield for
long
many
time.
years, and it means
Yeah.
so much to you. And I just thought that was so beautiful, and how much we are connected and how similar that things and experiences are. And I didn't realize the magnitude of what it was that I was being taught. It was an exercise, it was an introduction, it was a suggestion, but I'll forever be changed by it. And it was something that I made from the natural
Oh,
products. And I thought, well,
I would
can't you
love to
just
see it.
oh,
Can you
would
get
you?
it? I would love to see it.
I
I
would
will
have to
chit
dig
chat about
out.
what Kelly and I are going to do if you want to find it. I I was telling Kelly and I are going to do an earth and sky ceremony tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and record it because in Native tradition, this is that time of year to create a space for everyone, because everyone has guides and angels and ancestors. So to create a loving and safe space for them to connect, to make that connection with Mother Earth, with your ancestors, your guides and angels are always beside you, but to facilitate that connection and to honor and respect that connection. And you can go within. I now my high heart gets warm when I'm walking in a way, even on my walks. I ask for my high heart to be open so that I can connect with nature, connect with the unseen, and resonate and affect, because we are affecting wherever we are, everywhere that we are. And I'm so looking forward to doing that with Kelly tomorrow. And then we'll be sharing it on both our channels. So I hope that everyone will make themselves available, if you're so called, to do that. And we are happy to provide a space for that to happen, because this is the time of year. And right now, the world is in such flux.
Mm.
And we're approaching the age of Aquarius. We're approaching the time of the fire horse. And yesterday I put something on my channel. It's like 6 minutes. So I read off these things of like, okay, here's what the fire horse is going to feel like for you if you are the following signs. Here's what the age of Aquarius is going to require you to be or do or have. Get ready. And it's a really exciting time. And it reminds me that our time on Earth is so precious. If I could share one thing with people, it would be that being on Earth is a very large and amazing gift. She is a gem of this universe. You can go so far so fast when you're on Earth. When you're on other schools, let's say Saturn or Neptune, they are schools of knowledge too. But things move pretty much just it takes eons. What's so fantastic about Earth is you can draw upon all the knowledge that you can call upon. You can draw upon all the minerals that are in the earth, that because they resonate with the physical body you are in. You can call upon Great Spirit that is within you and every living thing, and you can sing here, and you can grow by leaps and bounds like nowhere else. So it's an exciting time to be here right now. Wouldn't you
It,
say it's a
I
really
do.
exciting time?
I do.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with all of that,
Yeah.
Annie, and it's so beautiful the way you put it. And it's it's a time for us to create our own futures, and it's the big shift. It's no longer being dictated to. It's us being allowed to create what we want in our lives, and it's
Yeah.
up to us to take that initiative. And it's a little bit of a hard right turn because we've been gliding and following for so long, almost like going with the flow with the society or whatever, which there's nothing wrong with that. That was the norm as long as it was working in our favor. And but it's no longer working for the majority of souls in this world, and it's time to take that hard left turn, right turn, whatever you want to call it. But to move into a direction where we take control of the creation in our lives, which means determining what our future is and determining how we want to present our soul in this world. And it's a beautiful time because there is all new, all creation, all it's whatever that we want. And it's up to us to make that decision and to dream it. It's up to us to dream it and to create it and to draw it and to write it and to sing it. It's up to us to create it and put it in a form that is creative as a symbol, and then act on that. And I think, follow that through, follow that map. We're creating our own map in our lives. And, age has no bearing on this. It doesn't matter if you're 9 or 90. It's,
Mhm.
it's a time for creation. And, and this is fun. Being creative is fun. It's using
Yeah.
our imagination. It's having no bounds, no boundaries. It's having, all of our uh all of the resources provided to us, and it is what we want to make it. And we're already doing this. This is We wanted to change. This is the change that we're moving. This is what it feels like to make that change. And but we need to watch and focus. Not need to. We want to invite you to consider focusing on your highest bliss, focusing on what excites you.
Yeah. And my dreaming recently, I've been attracted to various stones recently, especially the ones that help the chakras, open them up, balance, ground, because the more grounded you are, the higher you can reach. But I'm getting these insights about why act the way I do. And some of it's in dreaming,
Oh,
where I'll be told in dreaming, this is why I act the way I do, or this is how that dynamic became a thing. And it's so eye-opening because with that, if we remember that, like, I remind myself that mother loves all her children. The ones I love, the ones I like, the ones I don't. She loves all her children. Everyone is playing their part, their contract. In order to create change on this dimension, there needs to be duality. And that's how you create big change. And on the plane of reality, this is what it looks like. And so I have to remind myself so that I don't get sucked into the lower emotions that are going to stunt my growth. And I'm not stunting myself. Thank you very much. I want to keep going. I want to do everything I can do here and be and remember everything that I can. I have to remind myself mother loves all her children. Everyone wakes up at exactly the right time, in exactly the right circumstances. If we only knew how many of our soul contracts are kind of like spider webs. And so we grow and change, and the web does too. And the web of life changes too. It's really, really beautiful. If only we knew. We have to have faith and trust. And trust, I'm learning to trust my intuition more. And a lot of it's because of the dreams going, oh, so that's why I behave that way. Okay, with that comes choice. Because not everything's bad. Not everything we figure out means we're doing something wrong. You know? Sometimes we find out how we inspire others, and it might not be the way we thought it was going to look like, you know. But oh, Carolyn says she's been dreaming about crystals on and off for the past week. Yes, good for you. Good for you. We forgot to say hi to people.
so Annie, I just wanted
Okay.
I know. I'm going to do that now.
Kind
But I just wanted to mention to you that you are breaking up just a little bit. I'm not sure
Oh,
if I sound like I'm breaking up,
no, you're
but
fine.
yeah, so your connection, I can hear you. It just sounds
Oh,
sputtery, like it
I'm
sounds like you're
sorry.
sputtering. But
Oh,
I
I'm
heard every
sorry.
word that you said. It was just, no,
Okay.
no, don't be sorry. I just wanted to
Okay.
let you know. But I don't know if this happens from time to time for you, but it's a good time for us to remember. So I just want to say hello to Tea Garden Chicken. Hi, Tea Garden. And Dancing Blue. So nice to see you. And Christine Thomas, Carolyn Loving Light, and of course, Callie Healer, Kelly,
Yay. And
and Sky
Sky.
Marrero.
They're
Lois
great
T.
names.
Hi, Lois. Nice to see you. And Dora Romero. Hi, Dora. And Dora
Hi.
gifted me some beautiful card decks. I can't wait to start playing with
Oh
them
my
and do a show
goodness.
with them. Thank you very much, Dora.
Yay.
So sweet. and,
Yeah.
and one was anonymous. So CJ is here. And Maria
Hi.
Marino. Hi, Maria. So nice to
Hi.
see you. Shine Truth is here. And
Hi.
Teresa Ford.
Yeah.
Hi, Teresa. Very magical
Yes.
being there. Michelle
Yes.
Krantz is here. Look at her icon. How
Oh,
adorable.
oh, I love
Aw,
it.
I love that, Michelle. So cute.
That's
And
awesome. Hi, Kat.
Kaya
Hi,
May is here.
Christine.
Hi,
Hello.
Kaya
Oh,
May. Everybody is here. Thank you all for joining us and Kat. So it's so nice to see everybody. Thank you
it
all for
is.
being here.
Thank
I
you.
just cannot, I want to get inside of Annie's head and I want to know everything there is to know that she has to share with us because this is a really important time for us to go back to the basics, to go back to the teachings, to go back to the word, the storytelling, to go back to the fundamentals and the ancients, what they all brought in for us, and that they all foretold this time of that we're going to be going through this change, this evolution, this. And I've been talking about it in a different sense, not necessarily in the indigenous sense, but in galactic and in just
Yeah.
what my guides have told me
Yeah.
with frequency and vibration. I've been told about energy changes, the energy and the frequency, Earth is going to change. And because of that, we, all humanity and all sentient beings on Earth, are going to change. And I said in one of my classes that we are Earth. We're not on Earth. We're not inhabiting Earth. We are part of Earth. We are without Earth, without us, Earth would survive, but we are part of Earth. It is like a plant, it is like a tree. There is a human. Honest, and we need to understand that with Earth gives us life, and with the universe, it gives us life. And with both of these, we exist and blend into this like heaven on earth, and this walking with spirit leading us and having that balance. And what Annie Bear talks about gives us so much balance. They were wise beyond their years. They've talked and talked about this time. They've trained and they've taught about this time in metaphoric ways, that now that this time is here, it all makes sense. It's all a revelation. It all makes sense. And we can put these dots together, right?
hmm That's true. That's true. And I've been experiencing kind of funny things with time. Um, like seeing something and then in a second it's gone. So I'm like, we're straddling timelines, and I think some are stitching together. Wasted Millenniums is going to have their first child. Blessings on that child. That's wonderful. Um, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. And that's why I think it's very important to stay grounded, to stay grounded. And remind yourself that Mother loves all her children, that you are here on purpose. You are here to be your most authentic selves in as many ways as you can. Because we think, we want to inspire others. So we're like, how the heck do I do that? I don't sing like Taylor Swift. Wish I did. Love her, think she's awesome. But singing when I'm walking in nature, I'll sing little thank you songs Thank you, thank you. And I'll make up little rhymes while I'm walking and sing those out loud. And that anchors light. And sometimes it's being around strangers, which I'm not real crazy about. I'm introverted, but being out and talking to especially older people and just saying hello. I know that sounds like so patsy, but it does matter. We're living in a time when everyone matters. And so
Well, can I just mention when you were singing, when you were telling me that you were singing, it's you're sharing the frequency and vibration of your energy, of your soul. And when you sing, that vibration goes out and shares amongst all of the sentient beings around you and far and wide throughout the universe. All this beautiful
oh,
energy that we
yeah,
share.
I
And it's
love that. The trees
mhm,
like it. I
mhm.
know the trees like it because I can feel them like it, you know. And nature loves to be seen. Can you imagine it? I think of it as like, people run around doing all their stuff. But if those some people were to say, "Good morning, beautiful day. Oh my goodness, tree, look at you and your beautiful colors. You are gorgeous." What to all of a sudden actually be seen and treasured and appreciated for the very oxygen they provide for us. It's when you become connected to the natural world, you begin remembering more of who you are because who you are came here on purpose to blend with these energies. So it's a quiet grace, but it lifts you up and it lifts the world up around you. Um, It's really something. It's a lot of ways in Native culture, like when my husband and I got married, we asked that people not bring us gifts because in our tradition, we give gifts when
Mm.
something really wonderful happens. So we made gifts for all our guests. And like my mother just passing away, when we honored her in the tribe, we sat as a tribe and we ate a meal together. And so everyone was thanked at that service from the grave diggers all the way to the cook who made the food for all of us to sit there and talk about her and her life and her love of red lipstick and her four children and how the activities that she liked to do, the dolls she liked to make. And so it was a time of um, when there's a life that's ended, there were gifts that were given to everyone who was that helped. And it's a different way than the normal, than the Western way. It's much quieter, and everyone counts. Everyone matters.
Mhm. And
Um,
that's that tribal instinct, that tribal
every,
mentality, and, honoring everybody in the tribe, and our tribe is humanity, you guys. Can you imagine co communing and respecting and honoring inequality, every part of humanity, which is what we were here to always do, but how far astray we've gotten, far astray from that, but it's going back to that, common respect for one another, each other's soul, and with the animals around us and the trees around us. It's that respect and that honoring, and it's so rich, this information that Annie you have and that you've lived, and that this is your everyday, and you're like, it's not a big deal, Jean. But no, it's really where we're heading, going back to community. Everybody's telling me that they're working on uh, finding a place in their community that they can join and be together with like-minded or other people in their community to just share their energy. And this is the light and the frequency and the it's not that we're going to teach them, it's just that we're going to be an example of how and the way that we um, not project ourselves, just present ourselves, and how our actions and how our energy is perceived. It will help others in your community, and to have that honor and respect and that equality that Anniebear was just talking about is fundamental. But this is
Yeah.
her, the ways that she grew up with, and I know that this is the ways that we're moving into remembering and becoming more like the way that we've always meant to be.
Well, I didn't grow up on the reservation, but I think of it like Terry Renner at Holding Your Space. She has taught us so well by example on how to hold space. And I think that's what, like what you were saying, like what we'll be doing is holding space as people catch up with themselves and slow down. And so I think there's going to be a wave of what do you call that? Self-awareness that's coming, that's happening and beginning to build. And so holding space for that is such a precious thing. It matters. Oh my goodness, it matters. And it's a different value system, that's for certain. Like if I want to know something about astrology and I really want it to sing, I go ask Diana Bowles and she'll be able to explain it in a way that will bring it to life. If I want to say, what do you see coming up? I'll go ask Kelly. What do you see for the angelics? How do we get there? How do we call on, is Archangel Raphael the one we need for this? Is that the energy we hold? How many, I mean, it's just, our family's about to get real, a whole lot bigger. so, like wherever you live, there are medicines of place. Find out what the medicines of place are where you live. Like you can start by going to your state site, and for me, it would be state of Washington. What's the state bird for my area? What's the state plant? What's the state tree? What's around me? What's the most native plant here? Because a lot of times the plants around you aren't even native. But find out which ones are. And find out about, because we changed 2 of our gardens to put in native plants so that we could draw and support native animals, the native birds. They're much more resilient. So, and live with the
Move back to the original nature, the way it was intended, moving towards nature
yeah.
and the way to
Thank you.
thrive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. And so there are ways anybody can do, everyone can do to find out. Hi, Mims. There are in wherever we live, we can find out those things. It's a way to like, yes, I want to be in sync with nature. That's a way to begin. And that and trusting your own intuition. Like if you have a body of water near you, I sleep with a stone that I got from the waters because I want to be connected to the waters. I want the waters to know who I am. Because, like, however you treat a tree, for instance, all the trees you ever meet know you and they know how you treat trees. It's the same way with the animals and the birds. It's the same way that it's really important right now, I think, to get in touch with the elementals because elementals balance energy. They will help you carry energy, they will help you balance energy. And you may be drawn to certain crystals or rocks or stones and just lean into that a little bit. You don't need to, I'm not encouraging you to go spend more than you can afford, but lean into your curiosities. Sometimes just looking at them and not purchasing them, that works too. And then do a
I
little
think
research.
I know
Yeah,
for
do a little
sure.
research.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you do not have a stone, you can look at a picture of a stone, call in the energy of that stone,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
experience the energy of that stone. It is all through intention, y'all. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nature. Nature is always here to teach us, and will show us the way. And it is always it's forgiving us, and it's about our struggle with our ego and
Mhm.
our nature, and we got too far in our ego, and now we're coming back to the nature, but they don't want to replace it. They just want it to be back in balance. That's the way to coexist with this egoic and this dual hemispheres in our brains, and and to live that way here on this planet in this natural. You know what's it's coming to mind? Do you ever see that? It's like a meme or something, and it says, "This is how animals live." And you see this beautiful forest, and you see this beautiful greenery, and you see the beautiful deer, and this is how. And then they say, "This is how humans live," and it's all this concrete jungle with you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, all this
Smog and
destruction and trash
distractions.
and yeah,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And it's such a dichotomy where, there's an organization in nature. There is a balance within nature. There's still predators. There's still, and little sacrifices of little bunnies that all these little uh, uh, flyers eat, or they eat the mouse or what, there's still that predator. There's still that sacrifice, but it's in balance. And this is what the nature's always been trying to talk to us about and teach us. And it's the frequency and vibration. And the earth has healing frequency and vibration. The sun has frequency and vibration, healing frequency. There is so much available around us, and it's important for us to get to try and work on focusing on the here and the now, and appreciating our surroundings that's in nature.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
recently had it reminds me when you were saying that, and I agree. I recently, about a month and a half ago, must have been a month and a half ago, I had these tests coming up that I have to do, and they always make me a little nervous. And they're extensive, and I have to have them. And they do like CT scan from my knees to my neck, and they just want to make sure everything's okay, and everything is. But I thought, how do I walk my talk right now? How am I going to walk my talk through this? And I thought, I'm going to choose love over fear. So I went outside to my tree, my beautiful cascara tree, and I say prayers at that tree every day, twice a day, in the morning and at night. And I said, I'm nervous about this coming up. I'm nervous about it, but I'm going to choose love over fear every single time there is a choice. I don't need to know the answer. I do need to state that I will choose love over fear every time. So when we're coming up on these busy times, peoples, that's all you got to do is say, I'm going to choose love over fear no matter what. Guides and angels and ancestors, this is where I stand. I have my shields up. My shields protect me. And they also tell the universe who I am. And I am remembering, and I'm available to grow more. And I will choose love over fear every time.
Now,
And that's
nobody says
that.
it's an easy choice, but it's important to the repetitiveness, the saying it out loud, the
Yeah.
proclaiming this, and the it's words have power, and when we speak these words, they become our reality. And I love that, Annie. What a beautiful practice that you have there. Um, yeah,
It's humble. It's very humble, but that's what we need to be. You know, that's what we need to be. And it's okay. How we used to have to pretend that we knew everything, and it's really freeing to say, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. It leaves the door open
but
for
it's
for
in
the
that
answer to find you.
it's in that uncertainty that my guides have always told me that that's where they can do their magic, where they can intervene.
Yeah,
Because when
yeah,
we have control and we have A, B, and C already planned, there's not a lot of leeway there because we have free will, we have the creation. But when we say, well, I'm going to do A and then see what happens, oh, they love it. She's going to see what happens. We're going to come in, we're going to
Yeah.
put little popcorn or breadcrumbs along the way and help guide her. We're going to put this magical surprise experience for her. We're going to make her bump it or help her to bump into somebody from long ago and bring her joy. When there is unknown, when there is uncertainty, our spirit guides, our loved ones can come in and help to, and our angels, they're correcting me, our
Yeah.
angels too can all come in
Yeah.
and help us to create, to co-create. And we have this idea that we're in 100% control. They laugh when we say that, but we're not in control. It is
No.
a co-creation. And as long as we allow and trust for the flow to come in through spirit, through our guides and us, it's that co-creation, it's that balance. It's not being so much in control. It's letting go and not having, it's okay to have plans or goals, but how, let leave it up to them, you know?
That's true. I think if you can let something go, if you want to really catapult your growth, let something go. Like I let go of drinking, and I had been watering down my wine for years, but just stopped. And I stopped coffee, and I stopped recreational anything, something that I've been doing with my hubby, and I just stopped. And it's been over a year, and since then, I found the most remarkable thing that happened was my bitterness fell away. Bitterness I'd carried for decades. I had a sister contact me who had we'd been estranged for over 20 years, and she reached out and said, I want to apologize to you. And I said, welcomed her with open arms. And all that bitterness was gone. It just wasn't there anymore. What was there was appreciation and forgiveness and peace. And the older you get, the more you just want peace.
Mm.
And peace
Hmm.
is something worth working for. Peace is something that we as human beings deserve.
So,
So it's amazing if you want to really catapult your growth, let go of like sugar or whatever it is for you. That's between you and creator.
yeah.
But just let go of one thing and watch what happens. Because I didn't even realize I'd let go of the bitterness until it wasn't there. And then I had other estranged members reach out, and I was so happy to hear from them. And I was, because I haven't moved, I've been in the same place for 30 years. I'm not hard to find, you know.
So,
So, and they
if,
reached out, and the same thing happened. I welcomed them with open arms, and there was nothing but love and kindness. And
so
it was
how do
amazing.
you correlate the letting go to the bitterness to the reconciliation? How does that link happen?
I think because I let go of something that was not good for me, that I used as a numbing, as a shield, and letting that go opened my heart so that I could receive the gifts that my angels and ancestors so very much wanted me to have. And when that happened, the shared joy of that and the peace of that was exponential, and it rippled through the family on both sides.
That's brilliant. I love
And
that.
that I
Mhm.
was just blown away. I was crying, thanking angels, building fires of thanks, singing for days, and still will, because that's a gift.
So those vices, let's just say vices that you
Yeah,
had with
yeah,
your coffee, with the sugar, whatever it might be, they
yeah.
were preventing you from feeling what it was necessary to feel. That you were masking some of the hurts that you had or some of the things that you did not want to face. So you masked them and used other things to give you pleasure rather than getting to the source of the issue that you needed to heal. And all of these things that we're letting go allow us to get to that point that needs healing, reconciliation, and realizing. And that only going through that difficult and painful spot can we find the joy on the other side. When we let go of some of these things that we've been masking or covering up our feelings or hiding from or avoiding, and when we let go of these things, it allows us to move into those areas that require a little bit of hard work and a little bit of pain of the feeling and the emotion in order to get to that other side of reconciliation. That's a beautiful description, Annie.
It
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
what really motivated me was I listened to someone speaking, and it was Jennifer Lisa Vest. And I went out to my backyard. It was nighttime, and I went out to my backyard and I stood in the same place that I do my morning prayers at. I do two sets of those, one at a tree and one in the middle. And I'm looking up at the fir trees behind our home, and I said, what can I do to be more of service? I really want to be more of service. And I heard, and this is really unusual for me anyway, I heard a guide say in my ear, stop drinking. So I dumped out my cup that I had with me, and I dumped it out, and that was it. So it was born of that moment of genuine, how can I be of service? Whatever that looks like, whatever that means, I'm ready. We're not all Oprah. So it's
Hmm.
going to look different for all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it's supposed to be.
And it's freeing
That's
for
why
you to,
being authentic is so important.
yes. It
Yeah,
allows that
yeah,
authenticity to come through, all those feelings to come through. I love
yeah.
that, Annie. It's so very inspiring that with that letting go, uh, allows, like, if you have, rocks in your hand, there's no space for you to create
Receive
or to
anything. Yeah,
receive. And mhm.
yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
when
First, you
we
have
let
to empty
go,
your hands in
what
order
is
to
for
receive.
us
Yeah,
will come into our lives.
yeah. And then, and what's really something is Spirit says you're ready when you're ready.
Hmm.
You're ready when you're ready and not 1 minute before. And here's something that freaking blew my mind, blows my mind still. Here's the thing, I've always talked to my husband for years. And we have this, like, I'll just say, hey, love, my addict self, I used to say, hey, love, my addict self says we need to go get some of this or we need to go get some of that. And okay, okay, okay. Oh man, my addict self is really nervous because I stopped smoking like 7 years ago. And before that, oh, my addict self says, oh, we need to buy more cigarettes. We got to get more cigarettes. So now my addict self, I'm like, no, yes, I know that you're feeling that way, but we don't do that anymore. And I'll stop in my tracks when I'm triggered by something, and I'll stop wherever I am and say the same thing I say every morning and every night. I, of my own free will, do not drink alcohol anymore. I prefer my clairs and chakras to be functioning healthily and my dreams and gifts remembered. And stop and say that no matter how many times it needs to be said. And your spirit and your guides and your angels and your ancestors are right there with you. And they're just like, yes, yes, yes. And it's a just do that every day for a lot of days.
and
And that
and
helps
whatever
build
it
that
might be for
connection.
you, maybe
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have an addiction to, watching movies or something, or an addiction to a certain type of butter, or whatever it is that you're
Whatever
using
it
to
is, whatever it
mask
is. It can be sex,
feeling
it can
or
be cussing.
being.
Yeah.
And or it's the coping mechanism. And I get it, you guys, we've all been through it, right? But the coping mechanism that we chose at the time of the crisis is no longer needed, but we still carry that mechanism. But now we can let go of the coping mechanism, or the vice that we have, in order to go through the healing and feeling, and on the other side, and the resolution of that. And it is scary, and it's important to do it with a professional if you'd like to, or with a trusted loved one or a friend, and or give yourself the grace and the time to do it. And really it comes down to time, and because when
Just
we're
one
busy
step at a
and we're
time. Just
Mhm,
keep it quiet, keep it
mm.
humble, keep it just one step at a time, one step at a time. And we put those, what I was going to tell you though, that blew my mind. This is what blew my mind. I said creator, because I talked to creator, like it's this big long conversation I'm having with creator for like 40 some years now. And I said, creator, you're brilliant. You're so brilliant because what you did, I see what you did. You put that gift of mine, you gave it to the addict self, and the addict self held that gift because only the addict self would know when I'd let it go. And when I let it go, then there was the key for the gift, for the gifts to come through.
It's so true. Oh
And
my gosh, did
that's,
everybody hear that?
how brilliant is that? How brilliant is that? Everything that we're doing, we don't just do for ourselves, we do it for 7 generations, for 7 generations behind us and ahead of us. We're we're never ever alone. We're stardust, we're earth dust, and we're spirit. So calling upon those ancestors of 7 generation, yeah, it's really very powerful. And that's what it is to be a human being, and accepting your part of being in this beautiful story that we're in. Your life is a story. Make sure that you're telling your story from your heart. And sometimes it takes a long time. I'm 64 now. It takes as long as it takes. you know, it takes as long as it takes. We all have adventures that we signed up for, including our addictions, including whatever the things that we would call our burdens. We signed up for those too. And a lot of times those are ancestral things that we're signing up for. And we're saying, yes, that pattern is going to stop with me. That pattern of what I don't know what words are triggering to others, but I think you know what I mean. Any family dynamics. Because I think I'm a pattern breaker. That's who I think
Mm.
I am. I'm a pattern breaker. To say that stops with me. That type of abuse stops with me. That self-abuse stops with me. And I will not carry that forward. And so when you think in 7 generations, it keeps you humble.
Yeah,
and
because we
it
we
helps
don't
you
always think so
appreciate.
highly of ourselves that we say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this for me," because we often have, a lower,
Yeah.
view of ourselves. But when we know that it helps all of our ancestors that have lived before us, as well as the ancestor or the future generations in after us, it we have much more of a responsibility, and it carries much more weight, that the decisions and the choices that we make. Now everybody has free will, everybody has their own life to live, but the healing of the wounds, of the repetitive wounds, or of the changing dynamic of the evolution and the growth, so that now that we've learned and we do better, and we don't say, my mother used to say, it used to be a big thing when I was young to call each other stupid and stuff. It should be like, that's it. Don't ever tell anybody that. Don't ever say that. That's a bad word. Don't ever come. I don't want to hear that word come out of your mouth. And I'm like, why? It's just, but it carries energy, and it carries, harm on other people, and it's a judgment, and it harms me as well because it puts me in a certain light, and I carry that, and it's just not a good energy. But now that I know, I don't ever do that. And it used to be like the first thing that pops off my head. Never. I don't know, it doesn't even come to mind anymore because I changed my ways. I've understood, and I have realized the impact of certain behaviors and certain actions and certain beliefs, and I've changed my ways, and I'm moving forward. And that's all that we can ask. It heals the what happened before. It heals what we're moving into. It elevates, and this is the evolution. Now, nowhere else in other generations has this huge, this big of a change, or evolution occurred in anybody else's lifetime. And I often, this is just offhanded. I don't know if you think of
Mhm.
this, Annie, but
Mhm.
sometimes I think everybody's lifetime comes here and experiences this time in history. Like, for some reason, we play over this point in history again and again. And we all see what happens. And they've said that this time we've done it. More than 51% of the souls on this planet want to evolve and change our frequency and vibration. And the star seeds and um, uh, the light workers want
Mhm.
to come here and to raise the vibration and come together and do all of the work, the hard work, the
Mhm.
change and the letting go. And this is why I know I'm here to go through this. And you want to do it as gently as possible and also be the witness to the change. And I know that there has been tragedies and horrific situations in our past. But this is a species. I don't know if anybody knows. It's the astrologer with white hair. I don't know his name. I don't Rick, not Rick. It's the other one. It's the astrologer, really well known with white hair. I put it on my. I think I
Sorry,
put it.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And
May I interject something?
yeah,
I wondered about this too because what sparked my wondering about the same in a similar fashion was Lemuria. And I thought, um, I had heard, oh, we've done this before, we've done this before, we've done this before. And I had been really had a bone to pick with the Atlanteans for what they'd done. I had a big bone to pick with them. And then I came to further down my learning, I learned that um, Atlantis came from Lemuria. So I'm like, okay, now what the holy heck? And so I talk with Creator a lot, and that's just me asking questions, all that is. And I thought, wait a minute, Earth is a storytelling planet. What if what is so remarkable about Earth, and yet another thing that's so remarkable about Earth, is she's a storytelling planet where timelines get to be woven into the story of time. So some of these stories, it wasn't that they were mistakes. If there were 5 other times or 4 other worlds, it wasn't that those were mistakes. It's that that's how you tell a story in time. That's how it weaves itself together with a very strong foundation. And the indigenous peoples the world over have a very strong connection and a very strong foundation with Earth. So Earth will become more appreciated as this unfolds when people realize the importance of that connection. And many beautiful things will come of it, but we have to set some of our judgment aside and allow wisdom to help us understand this, because it's just a bigger picture than we're used to looking at. It wasn't that long ago when we thought we were the center of the universe. We couldn't be further from the truth.
I know.
But yeah, so if we step back, that'll allow wisdom to come in and show us some things.
So
But yeah.
his name is Steve Judd, and it
Oh
was an
yeah, I've
amazing.
heard that name. Yeah.
And it was just an amazing interview
Okay.
by. I'm just trying to remember. I can't, for some
Okay.
reason, I can't seem to get to my.
Oh
Okay,
shoot.
now it works.
I've heard of
Um,
him.
it's Emilio Ortiz and Steve Judd. Emilio was interviewing Steve, and
Okay.
it was phenomenal. The information that was flying through about where
Wow.
we are now and why. And he's the one who said it's an evolutionary change of the species. It's not just of
Mhm.
this incarnation or that, or it's of the species. And
Yeah.
humanity will change because of this shift that we're going through right now. It was mind blowing. I believe I did
Wow.
post it, but if I didn't, I will post it.
Wow.
I will
I'll have to check
definitely
that
do that.
out because I've
Mhm.
watched a couple of that Emilio guy. when he interviewed someone else that I really thought the world of. Can't remember who it was at the moment. But yeah. Thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
You're
And I
welcome.
wanted to say thank you to Miss Mims. She made a donation, and hi to Lisa and MRJ, J Cat Lady. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Annie. I'm trying.
We got
I'm
we got
working on.
distracted. That's
Hmm.
okay. We
Hmm.
just got distracted. We were having such a good visit, we forgot. We forgot.
And I just put the link in the chat, but I didn't say anything. So whatever this link right here that I just put in the chat, um, let me see if I can put it on Annie's channel. Um, it is really it's profound, you guys, and it's really real. And that's the thing. I say, oh, I've heard this, oh, I've heard that, but the more times I get it validated and reminded, and so many others who are talking about this same energy that I've been feeling, that I've learned about. um
That's amazing. What a wonderful confirmation for you. That's fantastic.
uh yeah, I've always, I mean, well, it's the evolution of humanity is for sure, but the ways that I was introduced to it through energy, frequency, and vibration, and then it started evolving and showing up in everything that I do, and especially the shamanic energies, and how all of the ancients have been talking about this time in history, or this time in the future, and Nostradamus and all the philosophers and the prophets and all of these things. Now is the time. We are living through it. And they've also said that it's important for us to write down or record in whatever way, through video form or through, written form, or journal, or writing a book, your own experience, because it's not only your own experience sharing with others around you, it's for the future. What were they thinking when all of this was going on? How did they feel? Did they know they were going to change? Did they know that they were going to become more light beings on this planet? And what did the olden days humanity, how did they feel when they had to walk around and they had to carry all these burdens, before they were able to let all them go? Like, it's just the information alone, the transition. And it's not only helping us, but it's helping other planets and other civilizations that are going through this frequency change, through this shift. It's going to help them. It's about putting it out into the universe. If you have a story to tell, if you just want to tell your own story, talk about what you're going through, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how things have manifested for you. And it's really, I don't know if you noticed, but more magic is happening around us. More things are manifesting so much faster. Things are at our fingertips. The ability for us to raise our own frequency and vibration has been coming on so much faster. The information that we get from our tools, from our cards, from our crystals, it's all coming in just a little bit faster, a little bit more impactful. And it's because they're all here helping us go through this evolution.
That's so well said. I'm waiting. I think first contact is going to be first through awareness. And so I'm waiting for that. When the time comes, I get a little excited sometimes, but I'm like, we won't be given more than we can handle.
Right.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why everybody's like, well, when is it coming? Why don't we change? Or why don't we have, the ETs come and visit us already? Why don't they come save us? And it's just not that easy. You don't feed a baby a steak. You got to give them a little spoon at a time and let them grow up in and gain the ability to digest the steak, or whatever. Whatever. That's just a metaphor. But
I have talks with myself because sometimes I think I see things and I think, okay, the reason that you just saw that for a tiny second is because that's what you can handle. And and it'll probably be through dream. So I would greatly encourage everyone to watch the Dream Show every Tuesday at 4. Um, that's on Cali Healers and Heart and Soul Connected, Terry Renner at Holding Your Space, and at Oil Painter. and watch that show, but pay attention to your dreams. Do a little research on what stones help you remember dreaming. Play around with that a little bit, because I think I'm thinking that I'll dream first. I'll dream first to make that connection on an etheric level before anything happens in the physical. We'll see. We'll see.
Already is happening.
Yeah, it feels like it. It definitely feels like it. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely does. So, but that connection with Earth is more important than ever. That connection with Earth, remember that. But thank you
Mhm.
so much for having me on. I had such a ball today.
It was
I
beautiful, and thank you for bringing your beautiful energy and wisdom along with you. And it's
for sure.
you're so very humble, and you don't even know the innate wisdom that you carry and that you share. It's really very profound. So thank you for coming. And
Yes.
butterfly readings. I want to say hello to Miss Linda.
Hey,
Thank you for coming.
Linda.
Barbara Hart Love, Waste of Millennium. Congratulations to you. And Nins, thank you for coming by. And hello to everybody I said hello to before. Mr. J 1791, thank you for coming. And Sarah Broyles back. So nice to see you. And
Yeah.
Kaya May, I think I've seen you, but please do check that out with oh geez, I forgot his first name.
Emilio.
Emilio and Steve
Emilio.
Judd. It was phenomenal. It's really good. Very well done. They're just,
Yeah.
and the information that's just out there, you guys, is really just proficient and evolutionary, and it's of the sign of the times. There's so many more people that are coming online and awakening, and these young people are out there talking about really high levels. I'm like, it took me like 30 years to get here. How did they get? They're born with it. They're coming in with this frequency, you guys. And thank you very much,
Awesome.
Miss Mims, for the generous donation. I appreciate that. Lisa Davies, I see you too, Cat Lady. And thank you. And Kelly's been chiming in with us. I would love to have you back. Let's all get together and have a real high vibe. She was, I could see her on the edge of her seat. She can't type fast enough. But I know the energy that really pumps up. It really gets vibrant, and exciting. And this is what I love to inspire in everybody. But thank you very much, Annie Bear. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you to all of the
Thank you.
moderators, all of uh, the members. Thank you all. I appreciate it very much. And I will be back on Sunday. Annie, you have a show coming up later tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow with Kelly, we'll be
Oh, that's
pre-recording that, and then we'll be sharing that
oh,
tomorrow. So I look forward to sharing that and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, everybody. Happy Friday. I
I
gotta go
know.
eat some lunch.
I know. All right. I'll see you on Sunday,
All
everybody.
right.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again. Bye.